The Count of Monte Cristo. What if the man they tried to bury didn't just survive, but transformed into something unstoppable? The Count of Monte Cristo isn't just a tale of revenge. It's the gospel of resurrection. It's about Edmond Dantes, a man wrongfully imprisoned, stripped of his freedom, betrayed by those he loved most, and how that injustice didn't destroy him, it rebuilt him. What rose from that prison wasn't the same man. It was a force, sharpened by silence, sculpted by suffering, and driven by a purpose colder than steel. This is more than a story of vengeance. It's a masterclass in justice, in patience, in power. Dumas didn't write a novel. He carved a warning into time. Betray a good man, and you just might create your worst nightmare. Dantes didn't want to get even. He wanted the world to feel what it did to him, and then some. Every move he makes, every disguise he wears, every enemy he topples, it's all part of a symphony of retribution. And yet, beneath the fire and fury, there's a deeper truth. This isn't just about settling scores. It's about what it costs to stop being a victim and become a storm. So buckle up, because we're about to dissect the pain, the prison, the rise, and the raw transformation of a man who rewrote his fate. Welcome to the Count of Monte Cristo, where revenge is an art and redemption is earned in blood. Edmond Dantes, a man they buried alive. Before the legend, there was a young man with stars in his eyes and salt in his veins. Edmond Dantes, kind-hearted, loyal to a fault, and on the brink of a perfect life, a promotion, a ship to command, and the love of a woman named Mercedes. He believed in honor. He believed in people. But in Dumas's brutal universe, that kind of goodness doesn't get rewarded. It gets slaughtered. Edmond becomes a sacrificial lamb, framed by jealous friends who wore the smiles of brothers but stabbed like enemies. They didn't just ruin his life. They buried him alive in a fortress of stone, hoping the silence would eat him. But they didn't understand something vital. Pain, when combined with intellect and time, doesn't kill a man. It sharpens him. And in Edmond's case, it forged something lethal. He entered prison with a heart full of trust and emerged with the eyes of a god and a mind like a dagger. This is how you build a myth in darkness, betrayal, and unbearable clarity. They thought they had buried a man, but they unknowingly planted a weapon. The prison of shadows, where hope dies and vengeance is born. Chateau d'If isn't a prison. It's purgatory, cold, isolated, forgotten by time. A place designed to crush a man's soul, strip him of identity, and leave only despair behind. But for Edmond Dantes, it becomes the crucible of transformation. In those stone chambers, something in him dies. The part that still believes in fairness, in justice, in mercy. But in its place, something far more powerful is born. Not hatred, strategy. Not rage, clarity. And then comes the miracle. Abbe Faria, the mad priest in the neighboring cell, who becomes Edmond's mentor, his salvation and the spark that lights his fire. Through him, Edmond learns languages, history, philosophy, mathematics, and the truth of his betrayal. But more importantly, he learns how to wait, how to think, how to turn emotion into action. The prison tries to break him, but instead, it gives him his greatest gift, purpose. And with it, a new identity is slowly stitched into existence. One that doesn't seek freedom for its own sake. No, it seeks balance. It seeks vengeance, dressed in brilliance. The Count emerges, revenge as art form. By the time Edmond escapes and claims the treasure of Monte Cristo, he's not Edmond anymore. He's the Count, not a man, a myth in motion. He doesn't return to Paris with fists raised or bullets flying. He returns with elegance, with masks, with money and manners, because true revenge doesn't announce itself. It smiles at your table, tips its hat, and tears down your life one silk-gloved move at a time. Every action the Count takes is precise. The kind of revenge that doesn't just ruin your fortune, but unravels your identity. Danglars, Fernand, Villefort, they don't just suffer. They are unmade, piece by piece, secret by secret, lie by lie. Dantes rewrites their fate until they stand in ruins, choking on the very poison they served him years ago. What makes this revenge so captivating isn't the fire, it's the coldness. The Count doesn't lash out. He executes a vision. His justice isn't chaotic, it's architectural, beautiful, inevitable. In Dumas's hands, revenge becomes something more than anger. It becomes art. And in the Count's, it becomes a symphony, one where every note is pain returned with interest. The mask and the man, the soul beneath the strategy. For all his power, for all the masks and mystery, the Count of Monte Cristo is still just a man, one whose soul never left that prison. The world sees a dazzling aristocrat, cold as marble and twice as rich, but inside, Edmond Dantes still bleeds. Every calculated move, every illusion of control hides a man unraveling slowly. Because revenge may feed the mind, but it starves the heart. Faria taught him wisdom, but couldn't teach him how to let go. Mercedes, once the dream of a lifetime, now stands as a symbol of all that time has stolen. And then there's Haydée, the woman who sees past the Count's fury to the man beneath the scars. Through her eyes, we glimpse something Edmond has nearly forgotten. The possibility of love, of peace, of life. His personnel was born from pain, but his humanity never fully died. It was only buried, whispering beneath the silence, waiting to be seen. And when it is, it's not strategy that saves him. It's vulnerability. The price of vengeance. When God plays God, what happens when a man becomes judge, jury, and executioner? At first, it looks like justice. But Dumas shows us the hidden rot beneath revenge. Because when you play God, even with the best intentions, you don't just destroy your enemies. You begin to corrode yourself. Edmond started with righteous fire, but as he watches innocent lives shatter in the crossfire, children suffer, lovers break, minds unravel, the lines blur. Danglars, Villefort, Fernand, they deserved punishment, but the people around them, the collateral damage, that was never part of the plan. Or maybe it was, and Edmond just couldn't see how vengeance poisons everything it touches. Yes, he succeeds. But what does success mean when you no longer recognize the man staring back at you? The Count isn't just the cautionary tale of revenge. He's a mirror for us all. How far would we go for justice? And would we survive who we became in the process? Redemption or ruin? What is left after revenge? When the dust settles, when the masks fall away and the enemies lie broken, there is no applause. There's only silence. A man standing alone among the wreckage of a life that was once stolen, and a life he remade in fire. Now comes the most important choice of all. Not how to destroy, but how to rebuild. Can Edmond Dantes ever love again? Can he be more than the ghost of vengeance? In the final chapters, Dumas dares to answer a rare question in revenge stories. What happens after the revenge? Can a soul soaked in fury be reborn? Haydée doesn't just offer him romance, she offers him grace. And in that moment, something astonishing happens. The Count, the myth, the executioner vanishes, and Edmond, the boy who was buried, returns. Not as a victim, but as a man who has finally chosen to live. This isn't just the end of a revenge tale, it's a resurrection. And it reminds us that justice without mercy is empty, but redemption, even after ruin, is still possible if you choose it. For every buried dreamer, if you've ever been betrayed, silenced, underestimated, this story was written with your name in its pages. Edmond Dantes rose from the grave they threw him in, not just to get revenge, but to reclaim his name, his heart, and his future. This isn't just a classic. It's a fire starter, a blueprint for anyone who has ever been broken and dared to rise sharper. So, if this story lit something in you, if you felt the weight of injustice and the thrill of redemption, don't let it end here. Hit that subscribe button like you're breaking chains. Like the video if vengeance ever felt beautiful. And share this with someone who needs to remember you can come back from anything. Because sometimes the greatest comeback isn't revenge. It's choosing to live again. Join us in the next one.